here with Minnesota State baseball head coach Matt Magers. Coach, you're coming into your 8th season now. Successes in the past of regional championships, the College World Series, runner-up finishes, third-place finishes. Aside from the obvious goals, what can you look forward to in 2016?
Yeah, we're excited as we begin this year. I think we try and build upon our past, and certainly our tradition that we have is something that we talk a lot about. And I think this team has the ability and certainly a lot of talent to stack up against some of the teams we've had in the past. And it all begins with our pitching. And I think we have some pitching back this year that should hopefully give us some depth. Defensively, quite a few guys return, and then we have some new guys that we hope that can step in and contribute as well.
Awesome. Over the last 4 seasons, you've been fortunate to have some good catchers. Nolan Johnson, an All-American. He's pretty good offensively, too. With that being said, you've got 6 catchers on the roster this year. Is it going to be rolled by committee, or are you going to look for someone to step up?
Well, I would expect Hunter Harnish, a guy that's been in our program for 4 years, to be that guy, to be the individual that's kind of been here. He's put his time in, and he's going to get the first opportunity to win that position. We also have Ryan Moffett that's going into his 3rd year. We certainly expect him to do some good things as well. Most of the freshmen that we have will probably redshirt this year. We're only good as our depth, and if somebody goes down, I think one of those guys can step in and compete at a pretty high level. But to begin the season, Hunter and Ryan will be our 1 and 2.
You have 16 freshmen, a total of 17 new faces on this year's team. What or who can we look forward to making an impact on that group?
Yeah, I think we do have good depth, especially with the younger guys, and that's something that we always try to do is have that depth, not only in returning players, but also younger players. And I think guys like Torrey Miller, utility infielder, will give us some depth on the infield. Adam Ellingson from Rochester will give us some depth behind the plate, like we mentioned. In the outfield, Jordan Hart is a new player that's going to make an immediate impact in the outfield. Jack Madson's from Chanhassen. He'll get a chance to play right away. So we probably have 4 or 5 young freshman players that are going to contribute at some point this year. On the pitching mound, we have a couple redshirt freshmen. We have a junior college transfer that we expect that can come in and compete right away. But ultimately for us, it's about developing that team chemistry, about the new guys and the returners coming together. And I think spending 13 hours in a bus will develop some of that stuff, but also the time that we'll have in Florida, we'll get a chance to develop some of the chemistry as well. But very pleased with where we're at with our new guys and the returning guys and how well they've been able to bond throughout the season this far.
With the graduation of Max Waltich, Nolan Johnson, that I brought up earlier, Connor McCallum, and Kevin Kramer, who will be looked upon as like a veteran leader presence?
Yeah, that's a good question. Every year it seems like we ask that question when we lose some of our veterans that have been around for 4 or 5 years. This year I really look for Eric Peterson, Taylor Branstead, Hunter Harnish, those guys that have been in the program for 3 or 4 years and have made immediate impacts as freshmen. Mitch Bauer on the pitching staff comes to the top of my mind. Trevor Patterson is a guy that's been in our program for 4 years. And you also have guys like a Tyler Froworth and Dakota Belter, and the list kind of goes on. And that's, I guess, one of our mottos too. It's next man up. It's that individual's opportunity to kind of leave their tradition or their mark on the program.
Okay. After last season, you lost a couple arms in the pitching staff. Are the hurlers on the team on track to have the same success they did in 2016? Dalton Roach, for example, Dakota Belter.
Yeah, I think so. Dalton Roach and Brody Rodning will be our 1 and 2, and then you have Mitch Bauer, who threw quite a few innings and was a starter for us last year. There's other guys that are going to get a chance, like Aaron Rosick threw quite a few big innings for us last year, and then John Ludwig is a redshirt freshman that'll probably be one of our starters. And then as we move a little bit further into our bullpen with Tyler Froworth and Dakota Belter, there's some other guys there too that have contributed in the past, and we hope to expand on the roles this year. The pitching staff, like I mentioned earlier, does have some depth in it. And then as we enter our Florida swing and our conference swing, we're going to go playing 6 games a week. So we just can't rely on 1 or 2 guys. It's going to take, probably by the end of the year, you're going to see 10 to 12 guys in the pitching staff that are going to contribute and have major impacts on the mound.
PJ McEntee, brought him on this year after Adam Crisp moved on to the University of Illinois after 7 seasons. What did you see in PJ that made you think he's our guy?
Yeah, I think number one, he has a passion for the game. He's dedicated. He's gone out there and he's instilled some great fundamentals of the game. Is something that we want to teach. Just defensively, having the attitude, just being able to throw and catch the ball. He's a grinder. He's a worker. And I think the players have stepped in and really developed a strong relationship with him. He'll coach third base. He's been working with our infielders. He's been working with the hitters. So I really look forward for us not to miss a beat there, just because of PJ's experience, what he has in the past, the different colleges that he's been at. That's going to allow him to jump in right away and kind of hopefully not miss a beat.
You got Arkansas-Monticello coming up the 12th and 13th this weekend. What's the game plan going into it, and how you look to take a couple wins from the Weevils?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just coming out and control the things we can. So number one, it's, like I mentioned, it's starting with our pitching staff. We need to come out and throw first pitch strikes and throw overall strikes. And I think having the ability to locate our off-speed pitches during hitting counts is something that usually takes a little bit longer time to develop that. If we can do that initially a little bit earlier, I think we'll have some success. Defensively, just being able to throw and catch the baseball. It's going to be different for us not taking a ground ball off the field house floor, but that's something that we've worked all fall on, and so taking care of the baseball, being able to throw and catch it, catching pop flies is something we haven't done since November. So that gets interesting at times too, but that's part of the process that we understand that it's going to take some time. And then offensively, just being aggressive, getting the pitch that we're going to be able to hit and handle, and specifically certain situations are going to dictate what we want to do offensively. But we've traditionally been a fundamental team that can do the small things right, and I think that's something that we want to build upon throughout the year.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.